It was 1814. The British came ashore. They burned our capital city, then they sailed for Baltimore. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer with a flag inside his heart. He sailed out to the British ship to plead for a prisoner's release in the dark. They kept him aboard through the night as the cannons roared aloud. The rocket's red glare lit the sky over Fort McHenry's proud. All through that long and fearful night, he watched with aching eyes, wondering if our flag still stood beneath those bursting bombs in the sky. By the dawn's early light, through the perilous fight, that star-spangled banner still waved in the morning light. Oh, say, can you see what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Our banner prevailed. 250 years later, we still sing that song of the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we belong. When morning broke on September 14th, that flag was still there. 31 feet by 42, tattered but proud in the air. He pulled an old letter from his pocket and wrote on the back the words that would echo through history from that faithful attack. By the dawn's early light, through the perilous fight, that star-spangled banner still waved in the morning light. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? 250 years of freedom, we still stand tall for the nation that answered when liberty called. From that fort in Baltimore to every battlefield since, that song became our anthem through triumph and through pain. It carried us through world wars, through struggles and through tears, a reminder of the price that was paid for all these years. Oh.
All right, everybody, we're going here. I spent a good part of the morning working on the computer. It seems to be working okay. No blue screens of death yet tonight, or through the day today. Even while I was working on it for several hours, I never got the blue screen of death again, but I got it 3 times last night. And so, yeah, not sure what's going on with that. Not real happy about it, but sometimes, I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes with computers, they're so complex and so advanced, and this is even more so with AI, sometimes they fix themselves, literally. Sometimes by running a process enough times, it will clear itself of the error, and that may be what's going on here. I'm not sure. It could be a failure in my video card that's beginning to rear its ugly head, or it could be one of my memory sticks going bad. Those seem to be the 2 things that it keeps pointing at. But we are going to keep going. I am on the main computer tonight. I do have the laptop on standby. I can get that up in about 10 minutes if this goes down. But that's okay. Tonight we're watching Merapi and volcano erupting in Indonesia. I don't know why that's cut off right there, but anyway. There we go. That'll fix that. It's not Indon, it's Indonesia. All right, and there we go. Not doing a whole lot, but she's smoking. She's pissy today, so we're gonna keep an eye on that one. We were watching Kilauea yesterday. She's gone quiet again. They must have poured some liquor down her throat. She's starting to quiet. Yeah, look it up. It's a thing out there. So tonight's volcano that we're watching is the one in Indonesia. Then we got Storm Runner Media out inside Canada, chasing tornadoes in Canada. Yeah, believe it or not, they get those things there. And then finally there, we're also watching Niagara Falls. I figured we would stay on the theme. The colored light show should be starting here before long in Niagara Falls. And then we got Fox right above me here. We're keeping an eye on national headlines tonight. It's a Sunday night, typical Sunday night, slow night in the news cycle. But we are going to be going through all of what is going on tonight. Now, as far as the weather goes, there's really not crap. We got one lone storm chaser out here, but I can't believe he's even broadcasting. No, he's not. And then we've got our other storm chaser up here in Canada, believe it or not, up there. So, but that's our areas of interest right there, these 2 areas. Let's take a quick look at the outlooks for the day here, for the evening. This is our current outlook. So everywhere you see the light green, that's just an ever so slight chance of bad weather. The darker green is a 1 in 5 chance. The yellow is a 2 in 5 chance for severe weather within 100 miles of your home. So that's how that works. Hey, everybody. Hey, Deploribus, Zen, Canna Club, Merlin. Hello, everybody. Dispatch. Glad you guys are all here tonight. And even more coming in. Heath, I see you out there. And let's see who else is out there. It just works. Yes, it does work tonight. Thank God. And Bill, thank you for coming in tonight as well. And Crazy in Alabama. Yeah, well, some of us are crazy no matter where we go, right? All right, so there we go. That's who we got so far in here. The numbers are starting to come up. That was a little bit of a different opener I showed tonight. It's more of a promo style opener. The other one is just a bunch of, beauty shots of the van that doesn't exist yet. But the new one, I actually went in this morning and I captured great scenes from 10 different shows. Tornado shows, hurricane shows, riot shows, police action, police chase shows. And I put them all in there as like, we do this and we do this and we do this. So it's a little more of a promo style thing where someone can watch it and see all the different styles of screens that we have when we do different kinds of coverage. So I hope that's cool. I'll play it again at the end as we're getting out. I've posted it. If you want to send somebody our promo to show them what we do, that would be a good one to send, because it actually shows different shots of the show in there. Hey, Pickled Bird, what's going on? All right, yeah, we've got all kinds of weird things going on tonight, but we've got a new product tonight, which I think is really, really cool, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, why don't I? That has to be it. Oh well. All right, so guys, I hope you guys like the song coming in. By the way, it's probably one of my favorite ones yet. And I'll play it again on the way out. But tonight's song is the Star-Spangled Story, and it's about Francis Scott Key writing the Star-Spangled Banner as he looked out that portal in the lower deck of the British ship where he had been taken prisoner, and he watched every time a bomb would go off. He would see if he could see the flag still standing. And when morning broke, the flag was still there. Hence our Star-Spangled Banner. An amazing story. If you've never visited Fort McHenry, it should be a bucket list. If you're a true patriot and a great American, you got to see D.C. You know, there's certain things you got to see. You got to see Gettysburg, okay? But that's another one you have to go see. And that's in Baltimore. Fort McHenry in Baltimore. All right, let's see here. All right, so I guess this is messed up, but I don't know. I don't know why it's messed up. I don't know. I put a clear background on this and it's not showing up, but I don't really care, because it's the fun that counts, right? So anyway, in celebration of the 250th anniversary of our amazing nation, the makers of Trumpanol, you know Trumpanol, the #1 treatment for Trump derangement syndrome, they've come out with their first mascot doll. It's a bobblehead doll called the Crazy Nancy. That's right, the Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll, now available for purchase on the Trumpanol website. These just $79.95 plus your local state sales tax. You can have one of these amazing Crazy Nancy bobblehead dolls by the makers of Trumpanol, the leading treatment for Trump derangement syndrome. Now, on your desk at work, you can have your own bobbling head, blue-haired crazy bitch sitting on your desk all day long. This is the special 250th anniversary collector's edition of the Trumpanol bobblehead doll. Get it today from the makers of Trumpanol. And if you know somebody that has Trump derangement syndrome, get them some Trumpanol today and get them back to reality. Okay, let's see here. I've got a few more of those coming up, 2 different ones. But anyway, all right, so there you go. That's what our weather looks like. Let's go ahead and go back to composite here. There's really not going on. Out here in the Carolinas, lots of rain. No bad storms. But we're watching this possibility of formation of something out here. They're still putting it at 10%, which is pretty low. So we're not making a big deal about it right now. If it forms, it's likely to move northeast and parallel the coast. That's what it's looking like. So even if something forms here, a low pressure center or a wave or even a tropical storm, it's going to probably push off to the north and the east and not be a problem for the United States. And I don't think it has much of a chance to strengthen. Storms this early in the year don't do well north of, say, Georgia, North Carolina, up in that area. Once they get up in that area, they don't do well because the sea surface temperatures are still somewhat low up there. They take a little longer to reciprocate each year up there. We're already seeing some pretty warm temperatures down in the Gulf of America and around the Florida Straits. All right. Hey, Shendy Hill, how you doing? Let's see who else we got here. I think I got everybody. Yanni, welcome in. All right, so let's see here. What else we got next? All right, so I think we'll start with this. FBI is warning Microsoft users about a passwordless scam out there. And I'm starting to get into these consumer alerts a little bit more. As a matter of fact, I'm doing some research right now. I'm going to let you guys know about some future programming. I'm researching 10 different items right now that are advertised on YouTube that are complete scams. They're just, you know, most of what you see on YouTube advertising, probably 75% of it is good, honest to goodness businesses. A lot of them are my local attorneys and my local air conditioning companies here in Fort Myers advertising on YouTube. And that's great. That's great. That supports me. It supports you and everybody else when they buy advertisement on my show. I understand that. But I am talking about that 20 or 30% of these YouTube ads that are obvious bullshit. And I'm going to give you some I want you to start looking out for. The bug zapper. Next time you see the commercial for the bug zapper, watch it really closely. It's 100% AI. And that bug zapper is only 19 inches tall. But when that little girl comes out and sets it up, it looks like it's about 5 foot tall. It looks like the size of your yard light in your front yard if you've got one of the old pole yard lights in your front yard. That's what it looks like, and it's actually quite a bit smaller than that. Another one I'm watching is these big, beautiful cobalt blue flowers, and they're just beautiful flowers. I mean, they're in your damn... I've never seen flowers and leaves on trees this beautiful in my life. It's all AI. It's bullshit. You can tell when the water hits it. If you zoom it in, you can tell anytime there's water flowing or moving. It's fairly easy to still pick out AI on that. Hey, Peachy King, also Granny Gone Bad. How you doing tonight? Incognito, welcome in. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, dude. There's no, like, one place where you're going to get scammed every time. And you can go to Amazon and get a bad deal. They sent me, the first time I've had to send something back in 2 years, but they sent me the wrong case for my phone. I got another one today. I've already got the new one. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Samsung S20. Got it for not a whole lot of money. I got that Samsung S20 for, I think, $149 was the total. If I would have walked into... if I would have walked into Verizon, they'd have sold me that same phone for $1,500 and let me make payments on it, I'm sure. But I got it for $149, went on the website, hooked it up, didn't cost me a thing to put the SIM card in it. And what a great phone. The screen is amazing, the camera is amazing. So, all right. Yeah, but when you're watching these ads, I want you guys to start watching for ads and then let me know when you find one that you think is AI or you think is complete bullshit. Some are complete bullshit, but they're not AI, like that air conditioner thing. They just show pictures of it and tell you it cools a room from 85 degrees down to 72 degrees. And there's no way for that box to do that since it's simply just a fan. That's like me selling a box fan, a $20 box fan for $100 and telling you, look, it's going to cool the room down. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's called simple thermodynamics. It's not. You have to remove heat. You cannot dissipate it any other way. Now, I understand we're working on converting heat to other things and using it and things like that. But I'm talking very generally out there right now. Heat has to be moved and dissipated. And so don't fall for these scams. But those are the three that I'm on the top of my list right now. The air conditioner, the big blue plants and the blue flowers, they're just so beautiful, and they're all fake. And the bug zapper that looks like it's 5 feet tall. Oh, yeah, the faulty ground line. That can be a problem, especially if you're a ham radio guy. Yeah, I'm very interested in this old man build stuff coming up. I'm very interested in this one because I'm very interested in 0-point energy for obvious reasons, and there's several of them. All right, so yeah, the power company replaced a pole behind my house 3 days ago. We were down for about 4 hours, but they did a good job. They were quick as I get. They said it'd take 2 or 3 hours. It took 4. I guess maybe they weren't quick. I don't know. It's the end. It's a dead end pole. It's the end of the run, and there's 5 drops coming off of it. So it was a little bit of a job for them to put a 25 kW whatever transformer up there. Yeah, we one of the guys here bought a little bug zapper, and he's put it out. It was like $20, and it's zapping away. It kills these mosquitoes. It works. I told him, I said they're not that much. We'll just get like 20 of them. But I'll turn some of that radio down over there. Okay, so. Yeah, CB radio's fun. It's it's just very limited. I like ham radio because there's so many different things involved with it. But yeah, any radio is good radio. No, Shendy, I don't. I sure don't. I wish I did. I've got 1 battery box left. I had 2 of them blown up by a lightning strike about 2 years ago, and another one blew up just before that during Hurricane Ian. I was on. I had all my UPS boxes hooked up, and the filthy power from the generator killed one of them, and then I had 2 more get killed in a lightning strike. But they saved the equipment that was plugged into them, and I'm down to the last one. I originally had 4 or 5 of them. I need a system. I'm looking at a system right now. Actually, I don't have the money for it, but if money gets better, if the channel gets more viewers, and we can start turning a little more coin here, I'm going to go ahead and put in a UPS system, at least for the computers, if for nothing else. But I definitely want to get one in. I think I can get some batteries. I can get some batteries that are still in good shape. I have some availability there. I got a friend that replaces them while they're still good, type of thing, because of scheduling. You know, with big generators on emergency power, the batteries, they have to be replaced every 2 years. Well, you could usually, with conditioning, get 4 years out of those batteries. So stuff like that. And I also have a piece of equipment I've been looking at buying. It's $300 or $400 that will allow me to use multiple different forms of energy. This would even allow me literally to hook it up to my car and run my car and run stuff off of that. It allows me to have up to 5 different inputs in different amperages and voltages, including shore power, battery power, solar power, off-site power in 12 volt or 110 volt. You can hook up it's really cool. And Joseph and I are working on that. He's already installed one at his house. He's got one going right now. So The boat battery, when you say boat battery, you're talking about a deep cycle marine battery. Yes, if you're looking for steady current for longer time, yes, you're better off with a deep cycle marine battery. If you're looking for burst of energy to start a big truck or something, you would want a starter battery like we all have in our car. So yeah, absolutely. You can use a marine cycle in a car, but it doesn't last. It's not really designed for that kind of use. It's designed more to store and use and charge. Store, use, charge. But yeah, those work. There's also the new bioenno technology, which gives you about twice the storage per square foot. But it's pretty expensive still. There's other options out there too. See, when I get into the van, I'm going to have one of these systems in the van. I'll be able to charge my 5 batteries off of the van, off of the solar panels, off of shore power. There'll be multiple different ways for me to, and I'll also have a little 1 kW generator that I can just sit out the back door and just run it. And that will like if it's a day where I'm not getting enough sun and I'm trying to do a bunch of work inside and I got to run the air conditioner and stuff, and I don't have shore power, I want to be able to add additional power. Like I could start the van up and just let it run, and that would be able to provide so many amp hours into the system. And then I could even deploy the 1 kW generator outside, and that would provide me with enough power probably to keep everything going. I've been putting a lot of work into this. I've been using AI to try to figure out all the numbers for me and what I'm going to need, because I want to be able to be completely autonomous in this van. I want to be able to go park in a tent site somewhere or a parking lot somewhere and be totally set in there. The air will be on and it's all going to be blacked out, and I'll be in there working on my videos or doing whatever it is I'm doing, and nobody will even know I'm in there. It'll just look like a closed up van sitting over there. But that's kind of my goal. I plan to stay mostly in tent camping. Camping's expensive. Camping has become very expensive. Matter of fact, most good campgrounds are like $100 a night now, and that's ridiculous. But if I don't need electricity and I don't need water, I don't need sewer, because all these places have showers and bathrooms and all that kind of stuff. So all I would really need to do is I'm not going to have a kitchen or a bathroom in this thing. It's just going to simply be where I do the show, the editing bay, where I do the show, where all the equipment is in the middle, and then there'll be a little bed in the back, and that's pretty much all it's going to be. 2 seats in the front. But the whole idea is no matter where I go and what I do, I can instantly go live and do a show. I'm going to have a camera that I can put up on a boom. I'm going to have a pneumatic boom on there with a couple of antennas on it, a little bit of lighting, and I'm also going to have a pan tilt zoom camera up there so that I can put the mast up 40 feet. And then you can get some amazing shots of whatever it is I'm covering. Nope, that's Fox News Raw. It's Fox Now. It's a YouTube channel they have. That's funny. Yeah, that's what I need, something like that. I don't know. I originally spent. I had some money at one point, and I dropped it into this place. And one of the things I did was I bought 4 UPSs. I think I had 5 total, including the little one that's still back there. But I've lost 4. The power's bad here when between the lightning storms and everything else. Heath, that's not a bad idea. But I do plan on staying in. You can tent camp. Most tent camping places still have showers, but to stay there is just a fraction of the cost. Most tent camping is anywhere from $20 to $50 a night, and you still get the amenities of the campground. The pool and the hot tub or whatever they got, the bathrooms, showers. Mama's sleeping over there, and the other ones are outside. I do want to get the little one tonight. I'm going to see if I can get the little one and bring him in and show you guys the little one. I had this little one that was born to one of these ferals that wandered up here, and I immediately started trying to touch this cat and pet this cat, and it worked. It worked. I'm picking him up now and carrying him around. He was feral, but he was young, so it was young enough, you know. But he's a good little cat. EMP shield. Yeah, Heath, I would love to do that. The problem is I'm a little small. I mean, I've done some like reviews for Baofeng and stuff, but I've been contacted by 3 different companies to do reviews and stuff, but I'm not really big enough to get sponsorship like that yet, I don't believe. But that's a great idea, and that's what needs to happen. I'll be right back. He's still not used to being held. We're still a little weird with the holding thing. They can't see you down there. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. This cat has white eyes. They're almost white. There's a little bit of blue in them. But when he's out in the sun and he looks up at me, his eyes are almost completely white, like paper. You're just a little baby. Yeah. My new project. Little teeny thing. I don't have a name yet. I think we're going to do that on here somehow. I want to name him. I want a Star Trek name for him, but I haven't come up with one yet. I don't want it something stupid like Quark or something. You know, I want it, you know. Oh, let's see here. You go, kitty. There's no light back there. All right, all right. The whole time I'm holding him, it's the constant struggle. Look, getting them to where you can come up to him and pick him up and stuff for a minute is one thing. Getting a cat to where he'll lay in your arms, that takes a while. That's not easy. Yep. Well, I mean, obviously, he got the Siamese markings. They're not that dark, though. But his ears are brown. And he's getting to where he loves people. I mean, he's starting to get it. Of course, I'm the only person he has contact with, but he's starting to understand that, you know, you can get a lot of love from people, and they also feed you, too. You want to call him Data? I'd call him the name Data called his cat, but he called his cat Spot. I don't know if I want to call the cat Spot. Cute little thing, though. Yeah, I'm going to keep working on this one. I can't help it. Mr. Spock. That would be logical, wouldn't it? Cute little cat. All right, let's see here. Spot. All right, Peachy King, you have a good night. Hopefully we'll see you back. We'll be on every freaking night. All right. Yes, if Data's cat Spot had a cat, he would call the Data. Yeah. Con, there you go. Yeah, no, I don't think so. he's off now. He's going to go knock shit over somewhere. I don't know what it is about cats. I got a lot of stuff out because I got like 3 projects going on. I don't normally have this much clutter, and they are just knocking shit off everywhere. Not Mama. Mama's very good. She tiptoes through. She's learned. She's been in here for several years now, and she's learned that I'm happy if she tiptoes around everything and doesn't knock it off. It keeps me happy, and she likes that. Taser face. No, Heath, I haven't. I mentioned it a lot, but I haven't talked about it tonight. Yeah, we have talked about it a number of times that Florida is looking at eliminating much of its property tax. Now, I want to qualify by saying, everybody always says, Florida's getting rid of their property tax. No, that's not what's happening. But it's partially what's happening. This only is for homesteaded properties. Everybody should understand what that means. A homesteaded property, you as a married couple or you as a single are allowed to have one homestead. Your homestead gets a deduction off the taxes. In Florida, it's $25,000. So if your house is appraised at $25,000 and you get a homestead exemption for $25,000, your taxes are zero. Okay, that's how that works. There's a bunch of little caveats here. First things first, this law is not going to apply to school funding. That's a third of your tax bill right there. So you're still paying a third of your taxes right off the top. Then, after that, on the rest of the money, they're going to give you more of a deduction. And I think they said like the first year it's going to go up to 50 and then go up to 100 or whatever. So in other words, if your house is $200,000 and it's your primary residence, you wouldn't know anything. If it's $300,000, you would just pay tax on the last $100,000, something like that. It's going to be great for people who own property in Florida, and it spreads it around a little bit. The tourists are going to pick up a little bit of the tab on this, but I think it's good. This will not apply to rental property. It will not apply to corporate or business property. It will not apply to any kind of property except homesteaded residential property that's owned by and lived in by the homesteader. Okay, that's important. You can't get a homestead on something and then rent it out. That's illegal. Okay, if you got a homestead on it, you have to live in it. And if you got a homestead on it and you're living in it, you're going to now get a much bigger discount, is kind of where we're going. But remember, it doesn't include schools. And they're going to have to raise the sales tax because we got to cover fire, we got to cover EMS and law enforcement. We got to cover like our independent taxing districts. Down here we've got hyacinth control. I know most people don't even know what a water hyacinth is. It's a thing that floats on the ponds, and if you don't drag them all off once every 2 or 3 years and burn them, all your ponds get choked, all your fish die, and it's terrible for the environment. And these are non-indigenous. They ended up getting here in our system, and the guys in their boats get them stuck in their motors when they move from one pond to the next. And next thing you know, every body of water in Florida has water hyacinth, and when you've got water hyacinth, it will immediately choke off the surface of the water and kill all your fish. So they literally tax me. I think I paid 83 cents last year in water hyacinth control tax. And what that is they have 2 or 3 crews. It's not a big organization, like 20 employees at the most, because they're only getting like $1 from each house. But it's enough that they can go ahead and they take 2 boats, or they use the shore in a boat, and they run nets back and forth, and they drag all these water hyacinth up on the bank of the pond, and they allow it to dry in the sun, and then they burn it. You can let it dry in the sun for 10 years and then push it back in the water and it will grow again. They literally have to burn it to get rid of it. And this stuff is virulent, and it's aggressive. It's and non-indigenous. It's yeah, not good. Anyway, so we have a taxing district for that. That money would have to be made up somewhere else. The same thing with mosquito control. I think you guys could understand that down here. Mosquitoes are terrible. So we have a mosquito control district that encompasses the entire county of Lee, and they get probably $7 from me every year, like that. It's not a lot of money. They get a little bit of money from me, and they spray over my house with Hueys. They got a couple of DC-3s, and they got boats, and they got trucks that drive around the neighborhoods at night spraying, and it's fairly effective, because if you go to an area that doesn't have it, you'll see really that it's a lot worse. And then fire districts are the other big one that are independent taxing districts. Those get their tax money directly from ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem is property tax. So if they get all of their money, like when I worked out at the fire department out there, 95% or more, because if we didn't get grants, it was 100%. A lot of years we didn't even get grants. 100% of our money, a lot of times, that's where it came from. It comes from the ad valorem taxes. Well, 65% of my of where I used to work, the fire district out there, 65% of that district is homesteaded property. So if you just eliminated the homestead property, that fire department would lose literally 95% of its, well, I'm sorry, would lose 65% of its base money. 65%. That would have to be made up somewhere. See this? This cat was completely feral about a month ago, and I've just been it's young enough that I've been able to work on it, and now it stayed. When I first brought it in here, it panicked and wanted right back out. And then each time I bring it in, it stays longer, and now he stays till I put him out. He also has learned that, man, it's nice and cool and dry in there. I kind of like that. At any given time, it's 97 degrees outside, and it's 73 in here. So it's quite a contrast. All right, so anyway, that's the big problem with this property tax, is we still have to make up this money somewhere. And I agree with Trey Radel and so many others that are saying, well, they should just cut the budget. And, you know, it's easy to say, well, they should just cut the budget. But there's places like fire department where I used to work. This is their budget. And they could not possibly perform anything close to the amount of protection that they provide today on 45% of their current funding. There's just no way. So we're gonna some cost cutting for sure, tightening the belt, moving some money around that's not needed other places. All that needs to happen, but we also are going to have to find additional funding sources. Isn't that right, Kitty? Yeah, that's right. All right, let's see what else we got here. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I'm not actually sure exactly where we're at on it today. So let me just take a quick peek. I'll check my local news here on my website from work. Near record heat. My God, we're going to be 96 or 97 tomorrow for a high again. Another big crash on the interstate. Oh, in North Fort Myers, an EF0 tornado touchdown in North Fort Myers yesterday. This e-bike thing, and I'm looking for the other, but this e-bike thing is an issue too. And we'll talk about that next in just a second here. No, I don't see anything going on here. I can't believe this is not in here. Let me see. State. DeSantis just vetoed the e-bike bill. And yeah, we're winding down Alligator Alcatraz. With I'm really not happy about that. You guys realize it's been 5 years since the Surfside building collapsed? Do you remember that? The beach building that collapsed down here in Florida. And they've got all the answers now on what caused that. They know, and it was water leaking down and caused the steel inside of the concrete to expand as things rust and oxidize, as they call it. Rust is simply just what they call slow oxidation. And as that happens to steel, it expands in physical size. And as that happens, it creates cracks in the beams or in the slabs that it's in. That's what caused that collapse. Several of those very, very important beams had water constantly running down them, and the problems were not fixed. And for years, water ran down these things and seeped all down inside. And you can't just leave the ends of concrete with the metal hanging out exposed. You have to make sure that your concrete, even your concrete, needs to be protected from weather. And what happens is a lot of these structural components were wet every day. They were being wet every day. They think there might have been a leak in the pool, actually, that caused some of the water, and then of course runoff, because the whole part of the outdoor parking deck was a parking deck, but it was outside, and so lots of problems. You guys know there's a sister building right down the street. They evacuated it later that same day. And started checking it out and found some of the same problems in that one, and have since shored it up, and the people obviously have returned to their homes. But that was a sad day. People lost a lot of loved ones in there, and then a lot of people escaped, but they didn't get their pets, and they would not let those people go back in for their pets. They did get cranes in there and bring people to all the floors where pets were supposed to be. And they broke out the windows and they called for the pets, and they did recover a few that way. But what a sad, sad story. Yep, it's going to be, our heat index will be about 107 tomorrow as well, because we're going to have a very high humidity and very little wind. Yes, please give me a subscribe, guys, and a like. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we're on every night, and we talk about a little bit of everything here. We get into science, we get into the paranormal. We're doing a lot with the alien disclosure stuff, but we also do the news of the day and breaking news as it happens. So join us. Tonight, there's not a lot to show you on the videos. If anybody comes up with a video you'd like me to put up, let me know. If you can't put the link in, just put the name of the channel in and I'll find it. But yeah, what we're looking at now, we've got the volcano in Indonesia. She's burbling. And we've got Stormrunner Media actually in Canada here about 30 minutes before dark. And he is out there chasing tornadoes in the Great North. And then we've got Niagara Falls. We're watching that. I kind of thought they were going to do all the colors, but they just got the white lights on right now, and they don't even look like they even got all the white lights on. Maybe they didn't pay the bill. I wonder if they got two bills, one for the Canadian side and one. Anyway, all right. So, yep, and we're keeping an eye on what's going on with Fox. All right, let me get back to this. Where were we at? Hold on. All right, the e-bike situation. I do want to talk about this for a little bit, because this is a situation. Okay, I'm in the middle. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I don't really have a hard line on this, and it's kind of unusual because I'm very opinionated, but I don't necessarily have a hard line on this. I think it's ridiculous what it costs to have a car. It's ridiculous. The insurance, the gas, the cost of the car, the cost of repair and maintenance. It's expensive. And I also don't believe in most government transportation. It's just a big cash cow. It's a loss. It's a hole you throw money in. We spend millions and millions of dollars in this county just to take thousands of riders around. It's the money we spend here on public transportation, you could take all the regular riders and buy them a car and 1 year of insurance. I did the math. It's true. I don't believe in public transportation most of the time. Now, in big cities, in New York, by the way, New York is the only public transit system that's ever broke even. And it doesn't do it much, but it has. Most public transit systems are a dead drain on their system. So when e-bikes came out, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Here's an alternative to these big bulky ass buses. Even people that may not be all that good driving a car could probably figure one of these out, right? I've never understood the whole I can't drive. I've never understood that. I had a grandmother that never drove, never had the occasion to learn. The day I turned 15, I was in line to get my learner's permit. The day I turned 16, it was a Thursday, I was in line to get my driver's license. And that night I was out driving, and 2 weeks later I was looking at cars. Driving has been more important to me than almost anything in my life because driving equals freedom. And I've always looked at it that way. And so I want people to have their own transportation and not have to worry about a bus that may or may not be there, a bus that costs me a lot of tax money and I never use it. Is it fair that everybody in this county pays $400 a year average to keep a bus system on the road that only services 1.3% of the population? Is that even fair? What's wrong, Kitty? What's wrong, B? Where you at? Oh, there you are. What you doing? When you want out, you know what to do, right? You just go over by the door and meow. Yeah, that one's pretty easy. Yeah. Aw. I've taught this cat to love in 30 days. I swear to God. Yeah, in rural areas, real rural, where you're on side streets, or in Florida, if you're within 1,000 yards of a golfing community, you're allowed to drive it to and from the golfing community, and you're allowed to drive it in the golfing community. So that's kind of cool. But they are not allowed on the road down here. They're a non-licensed vehicle. But yeah, but these e-bikes, Governor Ron DeSantis vetoed a bill that would have created new statewide safety rules for e-bike riders. The decision comes as Florida continues to see serious e-bike crashes. Many say something needs to change. Long before the veto, e-bike safety was already a topic of conversation. Rick Noel, a Cape Coral resident, came to share his concerns at our Cape Coral Wink Listens. Our TV station does this really cool thing called Wink Listens. Wink is the call letters, W-I-N-K, Wink Listens. And what they do is once a month they go to a different place in our viewing area, and they set up, and you can go in and talk to a reporter about something you want reported on. And then for the next month, they use everything they get. They shoot pieces right there. They'll interview you right there and get it on camera, so they don't have to catch up with you again. It's really a cool thing. And but this is where this was brought to my station's attention. Just the fact that there's been so many accidents, and sure enough, there has been some accidents. It's a worthy topic for discussion for sure, because is this an alternative? When I go downtown now, there's these bikes everywhere. They've got one of these things now where The bikes just sit there, and if you want to use one, I don't know what you do. I'm sure it's an app. My God, everything's an app. So what ends up happening? Aw, what ends up happening is there's these the corners that used to be open now have like 30 e-bikes sitting there, and then 30 e-bikes and 30 e-bikes, and they're already dealing with them coming up missing. They're going to come up missing. You're going to lose probably 2 or 3 of them a week at least. And the city has worked it out with a company, so the company deals with the losses, and the company deals with the fees and everything. So the city is a little less involved in it, which I do like. Don't want the government involved in this kind of shit. But now the government's picking winners and losers, because when the government says your company gets the exclusive contract to put the e-bikes in downtown Fort Myers, that's the government picking favorites again, isn't it? Shouldn't another company have the right and the ability to put their e-bikes on public property as well? I mean, this is obviously something we need to think about here. Why is it fair that one company gets exclusive monopoly on the whole town? You know, I think if you're going to let one company do it, maybe you should let 5 companies do it. But then now we got bikes everywhere. It's just going to be a mess. And then there's the drivers. Okay, they tell these people, you're supposed to use the roads. You're supposed to follow the traffic signs and the lights. You're supposed to stop at the stop signs, yield at the yield signs. Okay? And they don't. They drive these things like assholes down the frickin' sidewalks, going around people like this. There's been pedestrians hit by these damn things. But yet, they're better than buses. I was hoping they would work, because they're so liberal, though, but I was hoping they would work, because it's like, there should be competition. Look, anytime you have something without competition and the government chooses, it's bad for everybody. So like I said, I don't have a hard line on this one, because I kind of like the e-bikes. I'm not going to use one. I have my own car, thank you. But if you lived downtown and you worked 12 blocks away, and you could just grab an e-bike and go down there and grab an e-bike and come back home, it works in the city. Now, our city's not that big. Our downtown is 5 blocks by 7 blocks. It's not a big downtown. We've got a nice wharf down there, you know. It's where the shrimp boats used to come in, but not anymore. Just yachts now. Oh, and there's the yacht club that was destroyed by Hurricane Ian 4 years ago, that the city of Fort Myers has not been able to get their shit together on and get back open again. It's funny how when you want to put your house back together, you got to get all these permits, and you got to do it in a certain amount of time, or you have to rebuild the whole house and all this. But the city or the county, they can just literally let some shit sit derelict for 5 years and just put their hands up in the air. Live protest in New Jersey. All right, here, let's see what we got. All right, I'll put this over Niagara Falls, because that's really not doing anything. I like the view. I've been there once in my life. And to tell you how young I was on my dad's shoulders. So that tells you how young I was. All right, this is Jersey Protest. Oh, look, it's Beachy on the scene. He took a week off. Wow. I even checked him earlier and he wasn't on. Oh, why can't I find that? There it is. Get the Niagara Falls off of there. All right. Let me see if I can stretch that a little bit. What are you doing, little kitty? You keep hanging out in here, you're going to make Mama Kitty really mad. Why does the left have to be so damn delusional? Why can't the left say, I don't like these people getting arrested by ICE? No, they have to say, all these people have been kidnapped by these evil, evil ICE people. Kidnapped? You sound stupid. Your leftist ass sounds stupid. When you say something like that, it's the same as calling somebody a Nazi. You're not doing yourself any favors. You know, the number one thing you want to do when you're talking to people and you want to convince them of your truth, don't sound like an effing nut. Okay? It's simple. It's simple. You want to persuade people. That's why all these protesters, they're out there because they're wanting to persuade people, right? They're wanting to gain support. So what do? They do everything in the world possible to not get any support. They cuss, they use copyrighted music, they have swear words on their signs, they put swear words on the walls. They do everything they can to not get the word out. And then, like I just said, when you interview them, they're crazy. Could you imagine if they came out and said, well, look, here's the thing. We would just like to find a new way, a better way to, divide the difference between people that can stay and... But they don't. They come up and they go, they're wearing a costume and yelling and blue hair and megaphones and siren noises and trumpets and drums and might all and trumpet all, and it's just, oh my God, seriously. If you want people to believe you, they have to hear you, and then they have to believe that you're sane before you have any chance. Well, they don't hear you because you're constantly cussing, you're constantly putting the F word on everything, and you're constantly acting like a crazy fool. So the media doesn't come out anymore for you. Okay? And then every time you do get on YouTube or you do get on the media or you do get on somewhere, you sound like an absolute nut. These people have been kidnapped by the federal government. That's not what they call it. It's called arrested. You can change. That's what the left does. They change the names of reality to fit their profile, to fit what they want it to be. That's what it is. That's what it is. We're not going to call it killing babies in the womb. We're not even going to call it abortion. We're going to call it women's rights. And then people started hitting them back constantly, like me, saying, what if the thing you're aborting is a woman? What about her rights? So now they changed it again. Okay? And now it's whatever. What do they call it now? A zygote or something. They've got some new name they're calling it now. It's not even it's not a thing in there anymore. It's just a lump of tissue. Whatever they have to say to make themselves feel better. Oh, you ready? Okay. You ready to go out? Where you at? Oh, there you are. Here you go. Here it goes. What's on your car? You going out? Huh? No? What do you got all over you, buddy? They're like stickers. Tony just came in. He's got like stickers all over his side. Those are like Caesar bird things. I don't know what they call them anymore. Yeah, that's what the left does is anytime their reality clashes with normalcy, they change the word. They just change the word. They don't riot. It's planned civil unrest. I mean, they always change the words. And they do that because they're literally, the people that follow them are weak-minded people. And by just simply changing the words, you make your strange, harsh reality something that these simpletons can follow and believe in because it sounds good. It sounds good. Man, that sounds good. Yeah. It's women's health care. How could you be against women's health care? Are you against women's health care? If you want out, you gotta go out when the door's open. No? Now I don't know what's going on. What he wants is he wants me to leave the door open. That's what he wants. But that's not going to happen because it's 20 degrees hotter outside than it is in here. Yeah, neighbors or comrades. Comrades for sure. Well, see, that's the thing. They live in a world where everybody needs to be appeased because everybody's a victim. And they live in a world where anytime someone comes up with a new gender, it's suddenly a new gender. Hey, look, a new exciting gender just happened. hey, it's two-spirit, non-binary. Yay! Hey, it's dude, what are we doing? Yeah, see, it's the hypocrisy. It's gay rights, and oh, they love Hamas. Hamas throws gay people off of roofs. You know, in Iran, if you're caught and you are proven in court to be gay, they make you a woman. They help you with the process. But yet the gays here, the queers as they called themselves, the queers for Hamas, a term that we're not allowed to use, but they can use. Another one of those. It's like the N-word. You know, I'm not allowed to use it, but that's what they call each other. Hello? But if I use it, I'm fired. If I use it, I'm off the air. If I use it, my neighbors won't speak to me anymore. And that's fine. I don't like the word anyway. But the point is, why are they using it? You know? I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, I know. I think that was funny. You get all these Middle Easterners coming to one of our cities, and then they decide to hold a gay pride rally out there. What? Why? Why? We should have held a straight pride rally. I want to get straight flags. We need to come up. Is there a straight flag? I'm going to ask Grok. I'm going to ask frickin' Grok. Is there a straight flag? I mean, because it's only fair, right? We should be able to have straight pride rallies and straight pride parades. It says the most common version, yes, there's a straight flag, also known as a heterosexual pride flag. The most common version is 8 alternating horizontal stripes of black and white. Some versions add a small rainbow triangle or chevron in the corner, but the classic design is simply black and white. It was created as a direct counterpart to the rainbow flag. That's why it's monochromatic, to be the exact opposite of the rainbow flag, which represents all the primary and secondary colors. Intended to represent heterosexual straight pride, traditional relationships, and heterosexual identity. The flag started gaining popularity in the mid-2010s. It is often flown or displayed during straight pride events, such as Boston's Straight Pride Parade in 2019. Supporters argue that if other sexual orientations can have flags and pride events, straight people should be allowed to celebrate their identity too without shame. I concur. Critics, mostly on the left, call it unnecessary, trollish, or bigoted. See, they're allowed to do it. We're not. They're allowed to do it. We're not. They can have black pride and Black Lives Matter. I can't have white lives matter. I can't have white pride. I'm not even allowed to use the term white lives matter because that's racist. I can't even say all lives matter because that's racist. I've been called racist for saying, somebody told me black lives because Black Lives Matter, and my retort was all lives matter. You're racist. Really? I'm racist because I said all lives matter. You don't have to do much to be called racist nowadays. The straight flag is widely recognized. I kind of argue with that. I didn't know about this. In conservative, libertarian, and anti-woke circles. It is frequently used online, and it rallies as a symbolic pushback against what many see as overreach of the pride culture. And I agree. Would you see? Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so there is a straight pride flag. So I think I'm going to get me a shirt that made to look like a straight pride flag, and I'm going to walk into my management meeting at work where we talk about the shows. I'm going to walk right into my boss's office, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to go, "Hey, my name's Ian, and I do chicks." And I'm going to be wearing my straight pride shirt. Straight rocks, man. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? They do it all the time. They walk into a meeting, "Hi, I'm gay. I like flowers and people and Klingons." I mean, my God. It's okay for them to do it, but we can't. You can't. No, I'm not going to go there. I have a MAGA hat. I don't wear it out. I just don't like the fight. I don't like my face being punched. Yeah. Yeah, how can, to them it's like straight is wrong. You know? And it's like, look, if you want me to accept that, okay, I will. If you want me to accept
FMMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
Okay, but you should equally accept me being straight, white, and dare I say normal? I mean, what? I represent 80%, you represent 20%. And I'm probably being generous. That was hilarious. Do you guys remember that? What Lambert's talking about? One of the conservative guys on YouTube went out and went to one of these liberal rallies and was asking people, "Don't you think it's bullshit what they're doing to the Straits, what they're doing in Hormuz? Why is it all about the Straits in Hormuz and not the gays? What about the gays in Hormuz? Who's going to get the gays out?" And he had so many of these people going, "Yeah, it's bullshit what they're doing from the gays over there. They treat the gays really bad, and the Straits of Hormuz get treated really good." It just shows you how stupid they are. Most leftists, the reason they can't argue with you, the reason they can't debate, you know the hardest thing with us right now is to get anyone that will debate. Trey opens every Friday, every hour on Friday, 5 and 6 o'clock at least, both hours on Friday. He opens the show with, "Call me, debate me, tell me you hate the show, tell me why I'm a commie, tell me why I'm a fascist, tell me why I'm a liberal, tell me why I'm a conservative, tell me, call me right now." And we can't. No one will call. We get people all the time. We're talking, okay, if you're for banning guns in any way, call us right now. 239-479. If you want, you know, whatever, anything liberal, they won't call. And they won't call because they always are fighting from the low ground. They got the low ground politically. You guys hear me say this every so often, but it's true. They have the low ground politically. They have the low ground morally. They have the low ground religiously, okay? And they have the low ground ideologically as well. They really don't have any high ground to fight from. Everything they fight from is from absurdity. Ban guns so bad guys won't have guns anymore. Let's let women just kill the babies in their bellies. I mean, if you listen to their stuff, they're crazy people. Maduro's awesome. Oh, the next week, no kings, no kings. Kitty, what are you doing? The monster just showed up. He's between the camera and me. What are you doing? What are you doing, little? I can't call it Littles. I've already started calling it Littles, and I can't because I have another one that I called Littles 3 years ago, and now it's just Littles. That's its name. Because, D-Beard, just what I just said, they're always fighting from the low ground. They're always fighting an uphill battle. Why? Because they're on the side of crazy. They're on the side of absolute lunacy. They're on the side that stands out in the snow in blow-up inflatable costumes day after day, scrolling the F word on everything the government owns. And they think that it's going to somehow change things. They're the ones that change common language, like we just talked about a few minutes ago. They're the ones that are always for the bad guy. They're always for the bad guy. They love the terrorists. They hate the Jews. I much prefer the Jews over the terrorists. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't even understand Jew hate, to be honest with you. I don't get it. And when I ask people that hate Jews, they'll start with, they're a bunch of Zionists. And that makes you pissed how? Anyway, the left is always on the wrong side. That's why I say it's no longer right and left. It's right and wrong. It's been right and wrong for a while now. The left had its place. The left, that was your union party. That was your labor party, your blue collar, man. Looking out for the man that worked every day, that put our Fords together. The man that built our clocks. All right? The man that's working out in the field. The union protected those people, and the Democrat Party stood up for them. That was 50 years ago, guys. A lot has changed. All those blue-collar people, they're on our side now. Most of those unions are coming over to our side. Police, fire unions, government unions all over the country have switched sides. Even the AFL-CIO admits that most of their members are not voting the way they want them to. And I think that eventually the union itself will step away. The AFL-CIO, the big union itself, will eventually step away from the Democrat side. Because even they realize at this point, crazy's not going to work. Crazy's not getting us anywhere. It was fine when we were a bunch of hard-working blue-collar Democrats. But now we're a bunch of non-working, bitchin'-ass socialists. And that's the direction the party's going in. And all the blue-collar people and all these good people that used to be in the Democrat Party, like my mother, are now staunch Republicans. It's kind of crazy, really. We may go off the air. I got a cat behind my computer. What are you doing? Oh, wait, he's back. He's back. You're on the keyboard. What you doing, little buddy? What you doing, Goody? Sweet little cat. I need not fall in love with another cat. It happened. The robots will save us. They will until they kill us, yes. Deploribus, that's a great point. I mean, people are moving out of New York so fast that the vacancies are everywhere. I'll tell you where it's even worth, San Francisco. You know, 60% of downtown San Francisco is vacant. It's kind of hard to run a bookstore with feces in front of the door and needles and people sleeping in front of your store. It's kind of hard to, run a bookstore. So they're all just leaving. And now with the taxes going up, they're all leaving. We're fighting this civil war with U-Hauls, and Florida and Texas are winning. New York City was amazing. It still is in some ways, but the people have ruined it. It's turning socialist. It literally, I can say that with a straight face. It's literally turning socialist. Literally. Yeah. If you want to work for U-Haul, they'll fly you down here every day, and you pick up a U-Haul and drive it home, and then you get 12 hours off, and then they fly you back down here again. They do it 24 hours a day. Yeah, we've got them lining our highways down here. We literally have them lining our highways down here, and they're trying to get them back to New York because they've got them booked out in New York for 30 or 40 days, and we've got them lining the highways down here. It's kind of crazy. They're flying down, I don't know, hundreds of people every day to just hook up one U-Haul to another U-Haul, and then hook up a trailer on that U-Haul, and then drive the whole mess back to New York. I don't know. Call U-Haul. It's a transporter job, is what they call it. I'll be honest. If I had no attachments and I just wanted something to do for a few months, that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't mind flying. I really don't like it, but I don't mind it. And you get to see a lot, do a lot. I don't mind driving trucks. It'd be kind of cool for a little while. I bet you make decent money. Yep, they'll pay you to haul a U-Haul. Normally, they'll put trailers in the back, and they'll put another trailer on the back of the truck. They'll put like those car carriers inside there, and then they'll hook up a box trailer on the back of the truck. So it's a truck and a trailer with stuff inside, and that's normally they move as much as they can each trip. Oh, they got a flag, an upside down flag alert. Let me see if I can find any more video of anything. Let me take a quick peek on my video screen here and see if there's anything else coming up. Oh, there's that one. But lots of protesting in Siberia. All right, no, I don't see anything new there. Yep, BG on the scene. He took some days off. He was in Portland, probably 10 or 12 days straight. I'm sorry, Newark. I think he was in Newark 10 or 12 days straight. And he finally took some time off. I don't blame him. Alright, let's see here. I'm looking for anything new that's come in. Yeah, you know, I've been seeing a lot of these shorts for cats that are dying of cancer and people looking for donations and stuff. God, it breaks my heart. I want to, I do, but I just can't. I don't know. I can't get into that anyway. I don't have that kind of money, but I know I had a cat that became diabetic really bad. On my scooter, he was 16, 17 years old. And I'd had this cat since he was little. It was found on the side of the road out by my uncle's house. And I adopted him. My grandmother told me I was adopting him, so I did. I had him for a long time. Him and I were best friends. And he just started losing weight and getting sick. And the doctor told me that his sugar's really high and that he's going to die soon. He's no longer regulating his sugar. He said, you can go to the advanced care hospital in town, and there is options to keep him around a few more years if you want. So I drove over there in desperation and walked in the door, and those people it was a joke. I walked in there and I waited for an hour with him out in the lobby, and I had him in my lap, and they came and told me he had to stay in the cage, which pissed me off. Then I get him back in there, and we sit down, and the guy comes in. He goes, all right, well, I'm just letting you know this is a hospital. It's $1,000 for us to start treatment. And that was the first thing out of his mouth. He didn't care about my cat. He didn't care about nothing. It was $1,000 to start treatment. And I told him, I said, if I come up with this $1,000, what are you going to do? He says, well, that'll get you all the blood work that we need, all the exam and everything we need, and get you set up with insulin shots for him, and we can give you probably 30 days of insulin. It's going to be about $400 or $500 a month. And that's heartbreaking to have an animal that you just absolutely love, and you can't save him because you're poor, because you just don't have the money. And this place wanted thousands of dollars to treat him. And they wanted $1,000 just to look at him. And then they would let me know if they thought he was salvageable or not. Yeah, it just was bad. It was bad. I ended up going online, and I went and looked up what can I do for a diabetic cat. And I found these drops. And it says it'll give the cat some time. So I started giving him the drops twice a day, 4, 5, 6 of these drops twice a day. And he bulked back up a little bit, and we got another year out of him, and then he went downhill again, and I had to go put him down. He wasn't in any pain. If he was, I would have went ahead and put him down. But yeah, I heard something about the AC units in London. Yeah, it's painful. It really is. I've put down 3 or 4 cats that I could have saved. But I would have had to gone and borrow money to do it, and put myself in debt and everything else. And then, in every case, it wasn't a cure. It was just putting off the inevitable a year or two. For a cat that doesn't understand that it's losing its life, it's not like us. They don't realize it. They just go off to sleep. It's mostly sad for us because we understand it. We understand what's going on. And I just try to keep that in perspective. A cat has a long life. If a cat lives to be 16, 18, 20 years old, that's ancient. The average street cat in a big city lives to be 8 or 9 or 10 months old. So, if you give them 18 years of life, speaking of, there's Tony back there. If you give them 18 years of life, you can't argue with not getting that last year. You got 18. And I just have to keep that in perspective. Yeah, they'll pry the AC out of my cold dead hands. Oh God, I can't imagine. Now London is colder than say Florida. I know, but still, you got to have air conditioning. They have 100-degree days there, don't they? Tell him, Tony. You know, that's right. I want to show you guys something. As you guys know, I bought this S20 phone, and I'm very happy with it. It's a beautiful phone. It's very fast. The speed is great. And I've been using an old Motorola backup phone, so this thing is like lightning fast for me right now. But it's missing something very, very important. It doesn't have a headphone plug. Why the idiots at Samsung? Yes, you're idiots for this. I like Samsung, generally speaking. But they're idiots to take away our plug. There's nowhere to plug your headphones in to this phone. And when you say something about it, I generally get the response, well, I use Bluetooth. Okay, that's fine. I will not put those things in my ear. There's a little radio transmitter in each of those. And it's sitting literally 6 millimeters from your brain. And there's just no way I'm putting a Bluetooth in my ear. I'm not. I won't. I haven't. I've never put a pair of them in my ears. Not once. I'm phobic about it. You're going to wrap them all around your neck and put them in your ear and transmit. No way. I'd rather have the old wires wrapped all around my neck than have these things stuck in my ear. So I had to find some way to do this. So I was going to buy a Bluetooth receiver that I could charge. And then when I want to use my headphones, just take the Bluetooth receiver and plug my headphones into that. So I explained this to Grok. I said, Grok, here's what I want to do, but these things are like $40 and I don't want to spend that kind of money. Is there a better way to add a headphone plug to a phone that doesn't have one? And I told him the type phone and everything. I said, what would be my best option? This is the best option. It plugs into there. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Fits snug right up against your phone case. And look at that. There's your USB charger. And look at that. There's your headphone plug. So you can charge it and listen to your headphones or make a phone call on your headphones at the same time. So I'm very happy about this. I do have a little thing now. I have to I don't think I'm going to leave it in the phone. That's just asking for trouble. But I need to have this in my car with me and with my headphones. This needs to be with my headphones. And then if I'm going to listen to my headphones, I plug this in and then automatically the audio starts coming out of the headphones. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. It's USB-C. And then it's got the USB-C charger, and it's got the headphones. The reason I bought this and not the straight one that you're talking about is because what if you're listening to your phone and you go get your headphones and you go to listen and you're at 19%? Well, this one fits up against the bottom of the phone. I like how it fits. It doesn't stick out. And the other thing I liked about this is it has the charging ability built into it. It has a rapid charge into it, as well as they both work at the same time. This was $8. Amazon, $8. So yeah, I haven't even used it yet, but I plugged it into my phone and the audio goes out, so I know it's working. But I'm going to get my headphones tomorrow. I haven't used them in a little while, but I'm going to go get them and put them in I got a little headphone bag. I'm going to put this little set of headphones I have down in the headphone bag with this, and then just keep it in my car. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. I really appreciate it. We got to keep the numbers up here. We've got almost 500 viewers so far tonight. That's awesome. Yeah, you can buy headphones that will plug directly into the phone, but like I said, I have a phobia about batteries going dead. This allows me to do both with the same plug. So yeah, I was really happy about that I was able to find that something that would work fairly easy there. I don't know where that little cat went. Oh, I think I let it out. Yeah, I think it went out. Oh. Yeah. Yep, so there we go. That was our only protest screen tonight, and we just lost it. So there you go. Isn't that nice? I figured out a way to get it to where it doesn't start playing another video. I wanted to just go to this, but I can't get it to do that yet. I'm trying to figure out a way to just get it go to the offline screen. A new live, let's see here. Yeah, it looks like he started a new one. There it is. All right. Let me go back up through the news one more time here and see what's going on. It's now, what, 10:45 on the East Coast, 7:45 on the left coast. And I do want to remind everybody tonight that tonight's segment, this segment of the show, brought to you by the new 250th anniversary special Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll from the makers of Trump and All. That's right, the new Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll, now available by the makers of Trump and All, the #1 treatment for Trump derangement syndrome. And there you go. You can now, on your desk at work, have your own crazy bitch right there on your desk. Try it out. There you go. The Trump and All bitch, known as Crazy Nancy, can be bobbing her head around right on your desk, telling you all about how it is right there on your desk. So get one today. That's the new Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll by the makers of Trump and All. I do want to let everybody know that in observance of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the Trump and All brand of products has come out with an entire line of patriotic Trump and All products for you to have this 4th of July. If you're going to a fireworks display, or maybe you're going to have an incursion into some liberal warehouse somewhere, or you're going to go and break up a ICE protest, or whatever you decide you're going to do this 4th of July to celebrate this amazing country, grab one of these right here. This case has everything you need in it to make sure that your incursion or your excursion goes as planned. This kit, specially designed for the 250th anniversary of the country. What an amazing kit. Everything in there is themed in USA colors, and what a great product. Trump and All for the treatment of Trump derangement syndrome. Get some today. Hell, get a lot of it. Next to your Leering Center sweatshirt. There you go. I love it. Yeah, well, this would technically be a Pelosi bobblehead, because she is I'm sure you guys know this already by now. She's actually where I got the face for that crazy woman on the front of the bottle. It's Nancy Pelosi with blue hair. Yep. The company even went and decided to change the packaging for look at this. Isn't this beautiful? This is the new packaging just for this week. It's amazing. Everybody's going to want their keepsake Trumpanol. I think it's cool. Well, we've been thinking about dropping it from choppers. If we aerosol Trumpanol and use the mosquito control choppers that we have here, they're old Hueys, and they'll hold about 400 pounds, 500 pounds worth of Trumpanol on board in a liquid form, and then we could just make strafing runs over the top of the crowd, dropping it each time. And by the fifth or sixth drop, they'll all love America. Yeah, it wasn't just her. I think that alien woman in Chicago got caught getting her hair did as well. There was 3 or 4 of them that were getting their hair did during COVID. And when they asked that one woman, the alien woman, they asked her, they said, so why is it that you can get your hair did while nobody else can get their hair did? And she said, because I'm on TV and I have to look good. That didn't work for me. You know what? We're all suffering out here. Why don't you get up your ass on TV and look like you're suffering too? How about that? Huh? That's like telling everybody you can't use your washing machine and then showing up in clean clothes. Give me a break. That's funny. Beetlejuice mayor of Chicago. Yeah. You know, the guy they got now is even farther to the left than she was. Lightfoot was her name. She was far to the left. I called her the alien governor because she looked like an alien. She also looks like that little guy at the end of Beetlejuice. I know who you're talking about with the little head. Anyway, Brandon, believe it or not, I have to say it. I think she was a better than the guy they got now. That would be nice too, D-Beard. You can also just, you know, when your liberal child comes home from college, you just spike their drink with it. Hi, Tony. You've been coming in a lot lately. You guys know Tony Todd, right? I know I've introduced Tony Todd on here. This is Tony Todd, named after the famous actor Tony Todd that was Worf's brother, Kern, and also the Candyman. He also played in arguably the best episode of Deep Space Nine called The Visitor. All right, let's see here. Numbers are dropping a little bit because it's getting a little later on. It's now 10:53. Let me see what we got else going on out here. Let me go through. I got a couple more things here in the news I was going to mention. Oh, I have nothing to do with that. All right, and Burgum's now vowing full prosecution after vandals carved 350-foot gash into the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. What bastards. What bastards. Okay? That thing was garbage, man. It been sitting there full of green scum for years. When I went there, I've been to DC 3 times, and every time I go there, I'm like, can't they do something with this freaking water? I mean, we got 1 million pools in Florida, and they're all blue. Can't we do something? And Trump did. He finally cleaned it up. And these assholes are down there trying to ruin it. They caught them putting algae in the pool. Then, after they put the algae in the pool, it didn't grow because they got chemicals in the pool to keep it from growing, right? Okay? So then some woman shows up out there and she holds a vigil and a protest for all of the dead algae that had been killed by Donald Trump. I am not making this shit up. She went out there, gathered some friends, and went out there and held a very loud, very vocal protest on the mall at the reflecting pond, advocating for all the algae that has been killed by Donald John Trump. You can't make this shit up, guys. This is the left. They're the benchmark for crazy, okay? Yeah, algae protesters, exactly. Yep. So they been cutting. They put this stuff in there that you can put in while it's full of water, and it clings to the bottom, and it gives you a nice surface on the bottom, and it's a pretty blue color. And what they've been doing is they've realized if you can get a knife up underneath this, and you can start cutting it and damaging it, and so that's what they're doing. Yeah, they even had shirts that said algae is great, Trump's an algae killer. I mean, you ever thought about that? I mean, I had a friend of mine with a pool down here growing up. We must have killed 1 trillion bacteria or algae in that thing every freaking week. Yeah, they 5 years minimum mandatory. That sounds okay. All these people need to rot. They all need to rot. Why are you biting me, Tony? Why'd you bite me? He's just playing. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum vowed full prosecution Saturday as the vandals who allegedly slashed a 300-foot-long gash into the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool and defaced the area with a slew of anti-Trump graffiti. When people are attacking it, the reflecting pool, it is like an attack on our country, according to Burgum. These are our most sacred monuments. He is correct. And the perpetrators, are going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Burgum discussed the damage and the Trump administration's response to it during a Fox and Friends weekend appearance, revealing that authorities have made 7 arrests, issued multiple citations, and filed 18 police reports in connection with the vandalism. According to Burgum, the damage extended roughly 350 feet along the pool's industrial rubber liner, which he said, investigators believe was cut with a box cutter. What are you doing, buddy? Images show some of the anti-Trump markings and vandals left behind, including 8647, interpreted as meaning to call for violence or a call to remove the president. 8647, remember? The reflecting pool is part of the 1922 Lincoln Memorial. When people are using box cutters to do vandalism on this thing, it's a shame, as they are throwing paint on Lincoln's statue in the eyes of the law. And it's true. I mean, this is just as bad as it gets. Donald Trump, addressing the vandalism on Friday, says the newly restored reflecting pool has been deliberately targeted repeatedly. They ripped a scar 350 feet long through the side of the reflecting pool. There are people that are, these are the people we're dealing with. These are people that want to destroy our country, and they'll go to these lengths to do it. Burgum said the vandalism came despite a concerted effort by the Trump administration to restore and beautify the nation's capital ahead of the upcoming celebration of the America's 250th anniversary. He says more than 50 parks and circles have been restored, 48 monuments repaired, 22 fountains returned to service, and roughly 1,700 lights fixed throughout the National Mall. Trump has brought that place back down there. He brought crime down 90% for violent crimes. He fixed 1,700 broken lights, both uplighting and street lighting. All the fountains work. All the water's beautiful now. Everything's beautiful. This was all done by Trump because he loves this country. And it was all stuff that wasn't done by Biden for 4 years, and that's why it got to be such a mess. Yeah, and that's the thing. The left talks about all the violence that was done on January 6th during the Jan 6 protesting. They talk about the damage that was done. The damage that was done. You know, there was one window broken. There was one window broken. The damage could be cleaned up by the janitors at night. And one piece of glass, maybe two. That's it. This is the big misnomer. There wasn't a lot of damage done. They didn't go through and smash anything. Even in Nancy Pelosi's office, they just went in and sat and put the feet up on her desk and smoked a cigarette. They didn't break anything. They didn't pour paint all over everything. They didn't damage the sacred wooden floors or the beautiful walls or the paintings on the walls. They didn't do any of that. So comparing to Jan 6th is crazy. Matter of fact, the damage done to the reflecting pool is probably going to cost more to repair than all the damage that was done on Jan 6. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. They'll never believe it. They're going to have a big, huge fireworks display there. Guys, we will be on. I'm going to tell you what's going on. On the 3rd, I have to do a show that night. And I think I'm going to end up doing all 3 hours live, which means I won't get home on the night of the 3rd until right about showtime. So it may be a half hour late start. I'm not sure. That's on the 3rd, Friday. Friday morning, I'm going to, myself, Trey Radel, my host, we are both going down to this place here on Fowler Street in Fort Myers. It's a big restaurant, and we're going there to be with the morning host, Jason Jones, and his producer, and they're going to be at that restaurant, as well as our program director and a bunch of other people are going to be there, and our boss is going to be there, who's running for Congress. But it's going to be a big July 4th 250th celebration on the morning of the 3rd, because we're not doing any broadcasting on the 4th. Although I am going in on the 4th, we do have a live event 1 hour on the 4th, I think at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I'm probably going to record these different things and put them on my channel as well. But I'm going to this event. I'm going to be getting there early, and I'm going to stay and just hang out and have a good time. I bought 60 pins that I'm giving away to all my friends. They're beautiful 250th America anniversary pins. If you guys go online, you can get 50 of them for $25. They're beautiful pins. And then you can go around your work and give everybody a beautiful lapel pin to wear on their lapel over the holiday. And it's something to keep forever. It's a great little idea that for $25 you can get 50 of them. Give all your coworkers one, give your family one, and then wear them. I also bought me something I don't wear. and that is a collared shirt that has a pattern on it. I'm normally very plain. I do have some t-shirts that have cats and stuff on them, but for the most part, I don't wear patterned shirts. I don't like patterned shirts. I bought a shirt that's got the American flag on it, and it's got like the preamble and stuff on it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful shirt. And I bought it because I wanted a special shirt to wear on Friday, and then on Saturday when I come on the air with you guys on Saturday. Yeah, but see, the DC has something that no other place in the world has. DC is not its own autonomous state, and the federal government retains authority over DC. And it's almost a weird thing. Like, Trump didn't need any permission to bring help in to fix DC. Now he does when he goes to New York or anywhere else. He has to get mayors and governors and things like that. But DC's different. He has a lot more control over what happens in DC. Now, only so much of that can be done. Only so much of that's going to be able to be done. They're not going to be able to let out all the prisoners, for instance. Now, they may loosen things up and all that, but Trump can deal with this because DC is different. Look what you did, Tony. All right. So, yeah, but there's only so much she can do in DC. That's what I mean. When it comes to DC, the president has a lot more say there than he does in any other city in the country. No crazy Catholic tonight. Boy, they love their word salad. Again, when you're arguing from the low ground, one of your tactics is going to be to call names and run away, but another tactic is word salad. And you'll find, like Corinne Jean-Pierre, probably the queen of word salad. Remember, she was Joe Biden's press secretary. We called her Cringe Jean-Pierre. Really bad. But yeah, they use word salad for the same reason that they change the meanings of words. It's because it's the only way to deal with the fact that they have no argument. Yeah, there's a lot of police agencies in D.C., and many of them are federal. That's another reason why there's not that much control that the local government in D.C. has over stuff like this. Cringe LaPierre, yep. Well, and we got to get the gas prices down. They've come down some. That's good. I paid, I think, $3.35 or something the other day. We're getting there. I had paid $4.35 just 2 weeks earlier. So they've come down quite a bit. And that helps, but it's not over. We need to get this thing over. And Iran's not going to let this end. I'm telling you. Anytime you get into dealing with the Middle East, it never works out. It has never worked out ever, 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 ever. Did I mention it never works out? So I'm nervous right now. because I don't see Iran ever following any ceasefire that they ever agreed to. I just don't see it. Well, since cringe, speaking of cringe, where's she at now? Hopefully unemployed, because that's all that she knows how to do. Hi. There's a little one. What you doing, little kitty? You got these things on your tail, too. Where are these coming from? Hi, little kitty. I got Tony and I got my little kitty here. And Mama, I don't know where Mama is. I think she went out. Yeah, Mama's still in here too. She's over there sleeping in her spot. I left one of my cases open, and she gets down in there and sleeps in there, so I've just left it open. That's her place. Let's see here. Here's Zoran laptop. Yep. I'm still working with all that stuff here, trying to get these computers to stabilize, but I really need uninterruptible power, and I think I just need to build more computers. These little computers just aren't quite doing it. Well, we thought that before, D-Beard, and I don't know. I'm not sure. Anytime we arm a group of people in the Middle East, those weapons will be turned on us at some point in the future. And that, you can go back 200 years, and that's been the case. Every time we give weapons to a faction in the Middle East, those weapons end up either being taken and used against us, or that group we gave them to uses them against us. And I'm not saying it's a good or a bad idea. I don't know. I'm just, in the past, it hasn't worked out well. Oh, the sun's coming up in Indonesia. We got 3 protesters left, guys. 3. Isn't that crazy? All right. Yeah. Even when the impotent Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, he left crates of money there. He left 1,000 Humvees with our specialized communications equipment in them. He left armored pieces there. He left all kinds of stuff there. Just what they got in communications equipment alone set us back. Joe Biden ended up handing our enemies all that equipment. Just pulled out, left it for him. And the people that he left it with, when the bad guys come over the ridge, they all just took off running. That stuff was in their hands within a week. Every bit of it. Cash, Humvees, radio equipment, weapons, bullets, bombs, launchers, artillery pieces. Damn it. All gone. All stuff that your money, your tax money paid for, and now will get used or has been used against us. $344 in Minnesota, $349 in Arkansas. That's about right. We're like I said, we're just under 350 or right around 350 here. So, yeah. Tuesday sounds good as long as there's no breaking news. I'll do it any night. But if we come out and there's something going on, now normally on a Tuesday night we would probably be okay, and there's no big protesting going on right now. But you never know. We may come on and there's been a big earthquake somewhere, or there's been some kind of crazy news. Other than that, though, we should be good for Tuesday night. I'll make everything ready for that so that I'm ready to go with Zoom on Tuesday night. I want to connect a little before the show so that we can make sure it's going to work. And then if something happens or it doesn't work or it gets busy, we'll just simply put it off a couple days and do it again. I want to have these guys on a semi-regular basis anyway. Chirp's a great program. I love Chirp. Chirp is the program you use to program your radio that you need to buy to go in your survival kit. Yep. Yeah, D-Beard, I heard the same thing. Diesel is stupid, and you want to hear something? My first 30 years of my life, diesel was cheaper than gasoline. There was a time when gasoline was $2 a gallon and diesel was $1.40. I'm not lying. It's a money grab. Diesel's cheaper to make than gasoline. It's a money grab. Because those guys putting gas in those trucks, a lot of times it's not their money, they're just putting it in there. But the consumer is putting gas in his car. And so they decided to switch the numbers around and make the gasoline cheaper than the diesel. This was not like this all the time. Yeah, I doubt it. The Clinton Foundation. That's right. They have to pay for it or they're out of work. So that's why they're doing it. That's why they make diesel a good 60 cents to $1 more than gasoline. It's a money grab because it costs less to make diesel than gasoline. Yeah, biofuels are a bad deal. You guys ever wonder why that never happened? Remember we were going to be fueling all our cars with E85, remember? We were going to go from E15 to E85 and then eventually nothing but corn, right? Nothing but corn. What happened? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. They never made a gallon of corn gas that was worth anything. Because here's the problem. It takes more electricity and diesel to make 1 gallon of E85 ethanol. To make 1 gallon of ethanol takes more electricity and diesel fuel than that ethanol will ever produce. So in other words, no matter how efficiently you make that ethanol, by the time you get it in a pump and you sell it to a consumer, it's twice as much as gasoline. That's why it's government subsidized. It's government subsidized. You ever pulled up to a gas pump and they've got non-ethanol gas? And you notice the non-ethanol gas costs a little bit more than the regular gas? You want to know why? There's no government subsidy. You're paying for all of the gas. Anytime your car has 15 or 20% ethanol in it, the government pays for half of that, half of the ethanol. The government literally subsidizes half the ethanol. If you're driving E85, the government subsidizes half of that because it's very expensive to make corn fuel. Very expensive. And the amount of diesel that is used up, because you have to till the ground. You have to plant the seeds. You have to pump water day after day after day. You have to put down fertilizer. You have to deal with bugs. You have to then harvest your crop. You have to separate your crop. Okay? And then you have to go through the conversion process to turn your corn into E85. And it takes a pickup truck full of corn, old crappy corn, to make 1 gallon of ethanol. An entire pickup truck level. That's how much it takes to make 1 gallon of ethanol. Okay? So, at the end of the process, you got diesel in the tractor, diesel in the tractor, diesel in the tractor. You've been running this tractor. You got diesel running the pumps that bring the water into the field. Okay? Then you have diesel to run the tractor so that you can harvest it. Then you got to run all the harvesting equipment off electricity or diesel. Then you have to run the process that converts it into a liquid, which is not an efficient process at all. There's lots of waste. There's lots of ridiculousness. That process takes a lot of electricity. And by the time you make 1 gallon of ethanol, you've used more energy that exists in that gallon of ethanol to make that gallon of ethanol. It's so inefficient. Now let's talk about the fuel itself. It's only 80% as good as gasoline. If you're running an E85 vehicle that's running 85% ethanol, you're going to use 26% more fuel than I use, gallon-wise. Matter of fact, E85 vehicles sometimes even have larger tanks. Why? Because it takes more of that useless shit to make the car go. So it takes more energy to make it than it even produces. And then once you get it to the end product, it doesn't produce near as much torque as what we would get from gasoline or diesel fuel. The entire thing was a waste. The reason no businesses out there are getting involved in ethanol, the reason fleets aren't running on ethanol, the reason you don't even hear people selling cars that take 85% ethanol anymore, I don't even know of a gas station selling E85 at this point. Ethanol came and it went. And you notice the farmers aren't crying. You want to know why? Every farmer that got into ethanol lost his ass. He lost his ass. He made all that ethanol. It never paid the bills. The government subsidies came in and helped, but still, he made a lot more money on feed corn or on human corn than he made on fuel corn. And yes, it's all different strains of corn. Do you believe that? What a stupid, dumb ass idea. Who thought of this? Leftists. Who thought of this? You Greenpeace pricks. That's who thought of it. They thought this would be a good idea. We'll just have the government pick up the slack until we find more efficient ways to process it. We never found more efficient ways to process it. That's why it went away. You ever wonder why the government gets involved in everything that it gets involved with is a loser? It's a loser. This was another loser. And government will get involved in losers all day long. You want to know why? Because they don't care. They'll still be there next week. It's your money, not theirs. They don't care. But do you know what won't get into a loser? Private sector. True business people are smarter than this. Even your farmers that got into it got back out. The companies processing it realized early on that they can't even keep this equipment going long enough for it to pay for itself. It was all stupid. Oh, Sal Pal, don't get me started. We were all supposed to die from a coming ice age. Remember that from the 70s? I mean, every day it's doomsday with the left. Yes, Miami was supposed to be underwater by now. That's true. That's Al Gore. Al Gore and his stupid bullshit. let's see here. None of Al Gore's predictions ever came through. Not a single one. And I will admit, you don't really hear from him much anymore. You don't. But see, the left has been doing this for a long time. This is not something new. Climate change, it's not something new. In the 70s, it was global cooling. The Time magazine showed New York City with snow stacked everywhere and just completely snowed in. Newsweek, Time, scientists all warning of a coming ice age. Predicted massive crop failures and worldwide famine through the 80s and the 90s. Some scientists called for spreading soot on Arctic ice to help melt it. A fear completely flipped to global warming within 1 decade. Do you believe that? So they were convinced we were all going to die of this new ice age. And then 10 or 15 years later, they're like, no, not an ice age, a heat wave. No, it's a heat wave this time. Freaking morons. No new ice age ever occurred. In fact, the temperature is relatively the same now as it's been for the last 100 years. There's been no drop. There's been no rise. It's where it is. The tide's where it was. Everything's where it is. Everything's nominal except the left. Al Gore specifically said that by 2014, there would be no Arctic ice left. Al Gore predicted the Arctic ice the Arctic would be completely ice-free by the summer of 2014. 2014. That was 12 years ago. By the way, we're building ice up there. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but we're gaining ice globally right now. He says it would cause massive sea level rise and extreme weather events across the country. Atlantic sea ice is still present every summer. It's there year-round. Gore's prediction was off by millions of square kilometers. He has repeatedly moved the goalposts on similar predictions, and then when he moves the goalposts, they don't come true. He moves the goalposts, they don't come true. He moves the goalposts, they don't come true. And the left still loves the guy because he's an idiot. In 2019, Prince Charles came out and said, we only have 18 months to save the world. He warned humanity had 18 months to fix climate change or it would face imminent catastrophe. This is how smart these freaking idiots are. The deadline passed in 2021 with no apocalypse. He's made similar dramatic predictions for decades. None of them have ever came true. He continues to fly private jets while lecturing in public, not giving a shit about the planet. No collapse has ever occurred, or nothing even close to anything he's ever said has ever happened. He's an idiot. Oceans will be dead by 2000. Predictions were made in the late 90s saying that the oceans would be completely devoid of life in the early 2000s. Claimed coral reefs would be all gone by 2020. There will be no coral reefs left anywhere in the world in 2020. There's been a slight reduction in coral reefs over the last 20 years. Slight. So slight that it's probably just global norms. Global fish catches remain high. Oceans are still very much alive today. Matter of fact, coral reefs have shown quite a bit of resilience, considering. And some in some areas have actually begun to recover. So there you go. Mass starvation, remember that? Oh my God. Yeah, in the 70s and 80s, they said by 2000 there would not be enough food. That overpopulation was going to kill us all. And that famine, we would all live our final days starving to death in a world plagued by famine because the dirt won't grow food. Predicted hundreds of millions would starve. Wrote a book called The Population Bomb, claiming the battle to feed humanity was over. Global food production dramatically increased due to technology. See, Once again, these idiots come out with these super predictions, and they forgot to take something that simple into account. What a farmer used to do with 20 farmhands can now do with a farmer and 3 pieces of equipment. And we can process even more food. Starvation rates have dropped sharply worldwide. In fact, we have some of the lowest famine levels per capita that we've ever had on this planet. Not only were they wrong, they were dead wrong. They were backward wrong. Ulrich was wrong on almost every single major prediction he's ever made. Paul Ulrich. New York City. James Hansen, in a book in 1988, wrote that New York City would be completely underwater by 2015. The entire subway system would be flooded, and all the buildings would have water in at least the first floor, and that the city would basically be uninhabitable. This guy was a NASA rocket scientist, okay? James Hansen. He predicted that this water was going to rise like this over the next 20 years, and that by 2015, he made this prediction in 1988. In 2015, that New York City would be unlivable, everybody would be gone, and it would be a wasteland. Well, I hate to burst his bubble, but New York is still very much above water. The water level has not rose one freaking iota. Not one. Hansen has been wrong every time, just like all the rest of them, just like John Kerry, just like Al Gore, just like Paul Ehrlich. James Hansen was wrong every single time. In 1980, scientists claimed that acid rain was coming and it was going to destroy all forests. Widespread fear that acid rain would kill forests and crops across North America and Europe. The media predicted ecological collapse based on what the scientists were saying. Forests in both continents healthier today than they were 20 years ago. Acid rain problem was real, but it was in degrees. All right? If you test a drop of rain, sometimes it will test to have something else in it. And then you just blow that way out of proportion. The truth is, what they said could never happen. Rain could never be so caustic as to do the things that they said it would do. So, again, a complete exaggeration, fabrication of what was going to happen. Complete bullshit. The president of the Maldives held underwater cabinet meetings as publicity stunts. He was saying that his country was going to be underwater by 2018. And he was doing all these stunts to try to make people believe it. He would have meetings underwater. And he felt that his city would all be under feet and feet and feet of water by 2018. And actually right now, they're striving to build new resorts right now. They're doing great. Things are great. The water never came up. Tourism is booming. UK scientist Dr. David Veneer predicted children wouldn't know what snow looked like. That by the time we got to 2020, children would no longer ever see snow. People in Europe would no longer have snow in the winter. Claimed snow would become a rare and exciting event all over the world. The UK is getting the same amount of snow they got this year as they got last year as they got 10 years ago. There's been no change in the amount of snow. In fact, you can ask anybody in the UK, they get plenty of snow. Al Gore and others claimed that polar bears would drown and be extinct by 2010. The polar bear population has actually increased significantly since the 1960s. Current estimates, there's 31,000, up from just 5,000 in the 60s. The polar bear population is not only up, it's thriving right now. How stupid are these people? How stupid are these people? And they still do it. They're still doing it today. Repeated predictions in the 80s and 90s that the Amazon would be completely destroyed. I know you guys that are old like me remember them talking about how the Amazon rainforest would be gone. And some claimed that it would be 90% gone by 2010. While deforestation continues, the Amazon is still the largest rainforest on Earth. And the parts of it that have not been leveled by humans are it's thriving right now. It's doing great. So they were completely off by that. The UK Environment Agency warned Britain would face constant water shortages in the 2000s, predicted water wars and permanent drought conditions. Britain has since experienced multiple major flood events. Oh my God. That was the government in Britain that issued that warning, and then they started getting flooded every year. After Hurricane Katrina, Al Gore came out and said, the storms are going to become much more stronger than they are now. He said that after Katrina, Al Gore and others claimed global warming would cause far more powerful hurricanes. He said that the hurricanes today are much stronger than they were back 100 years ago. Really? Tell the people in Galveston that from 1900. Or tell people in South Florida from the 1930s, where we buried thousands in mass graves. Major U.S. landfalls have actually decreased in frequency for over a decade. No clear long-term upward trend in hurricane intensity when you go back 100 years. There is more numbers now, but we also have to take into account that we didn't count all the storms back then. Major hurricanes are the same number now as they were 100 years ago. All glaciers would melt by 2015. Predictions that the Himalayan glaciers feeding the gangs would disappear by 2035, and then many alpine and Greenland glaciers are shrinking, but many are still presenting. Some are stable. This dramatic timeline failed. There is some glaciers shrinking. There's others that are growing. This is why do you think Greenland is white and Iceland is green? The Earth is constantly changing where its ice is, okay? Even the pole shifts its location every year. All these dramatic timelines failed to manifest. Mass extinctions. Many of these climate activists claim that 50% of all species would go extinct due to climate change by 2020. While species loss is real, the extreme predictions have not materialized. We have species coming and going every year. You know, a species goes extinct every 20 minutes or something, and another species is born. That's how this planet works, okay? I mean, Christ, that's how it works. I don't know what else to say. And these scientists just read it wrong. You're going to get extinction. My God, could you imagine if the dinosaurs were still here? Maybe extinction's not a bad thing. It's a natural process of this planet. It's called evolution. Venice, not the one in Florida. I'm sure they mean the one in Europe. Venice and other coastal cities would be underwater. Repeated predictions by many scientists that Venice would be permanently flooded by rising seas. Venice is still above water and has invested in flood barriers, but so far has not needed them. Many similar predictions for Miami, New York also failed to meet any of the deadlines that were published. Global famine due to climate change. 2010 prediction. Barack Obama and others warned climate change would cause massive global famine and would cause all kinds of issues coming up in around 2010. Global food production has continued to rise despite population growth. We have more food per person right now than ever in the history of man. Okay? That's how stupid these people are. Technology and farming improvements have outpaced any concern over climate or any concern over population growth. I already did this one once, but another prediction that people in the northern United States, that children in the northern tier of the United States would no longer know what snow looks like after 2020. I'm sure you guys saw a lot of snow last year. I went to Georgia and saw 7 inches of snow last year. All right? So kiss my ass. Major snowstorms and cold records have continued to occur regularly. As a matter of fact, we break just as many cold time of all time records as we do hot of all time records. Multiple predictions over 4 decades said that the Great Barrier Reef would completely die. Predicted to be completely dead or 95% gone. And that was in 2000. Parts of the reef have shown significant recovery in recent years. Media has had to issue multiple corrections. None of the shit they ever said was going to happen happened. Prince Charles, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or as I call her, dumb bitch, and many others have repeatedly said, we have only 10 to 12 years left to act, and if we don't act, we're all going to die. The deadline has been moved multiple times since 1989. No civilization-ending event has ever even come close to occurring. It just doesn't happen. If what I just told you guys does not convince you that these people have no idea what they're talking about, look, anybody that can look at a 10-day forecast and realize the last 3 days are complete bullshit. If they can't predict what the weather's going to be like in 8 days in Fort Myers, how can they predict that the sea is going to rise by 3 inches in 30 years? They can't even get weather right, and they're playing around with climate. Forget about it. Yeah, I was just mostly doing the weather ones, but yeah, peak oil. We were supposed to run out of oil 20 years ago. The truth is, the planet's making the oil. We cap a well, we come back 20 years later, and guess what? It's full of oil again. The shit's making it down there. It's awesome. This planet's great. The weatherman in Texas can't even predict yesterday's weather. I love it. Oh my God. So what do you think? I mean, why do people even believe? They're still having climate summits. Al Gore and John Kerry fly separate private planes, and they're not little ones. They're not 2-seaters. Separate private Cessnas down to these climate summits in Brazil and these different places. And then when he's asked, when John Kerry or Al Gore are asked, how come you take a private plane? Why don't you just fly down here on Delta? And they'll say, well, I do other things to offset these credits. Really? Really? You know, Al Gore's 5 homes have over a $10,000 a month electric bill? These people don't give a shit about you or the planet, okay? It's all a money grab. They get paid to make speeches about climate change, about something that's not even true. See, I call that fraud. If you're getting paid to speak about something that you know is not true, you're a fraud. Yeah. I always say doctors are practicing. I'm like, meteorologists are practicing too. I actually have several friends that are meteorologists, and I tell them the same thing. Yeah, Al Gore, he's got mansions all over the place. On the beach, on the mountain, on the desert. He's got all kinds of neat places. And he's made all this money. He didn't make it being vice president to Bill, I got a sticky finger Clinton. He made all that money speaking about shit that he knew wasn't true. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. And we're going to start towards last call in the chat room, guys. I'm starting to yawn a bit. We're 2 hours and 45 minutes in. Wow. Well, the truth is, medicine's not an exact science. Science is not an exact science. Weather, climate, not an exact science. It's what it is. It is what it is. Tony. I can't believe Tony's hung out all night in here. He's more of one of my outdoor type cats. But he still loves me. He's been my buddy for a long time. His mama wandered up here pregnant. And she had one. And it was this one. And we got her fixed. She passed away a while back. And we got him fixed, and he's been living here for, I don't know, what, about 10 years now, Tone? Yeah, he's a good kitty. Looks like the protesting's about over. Of course, I don't even know that it really got started tonight, to be honest with you. I never saw more than about, 20 people out there? No, I know Houston floods. Eastern Texas floods. You guys get a slow mover up that coast, and it's a bad one. It's a mess. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna be. If you guys want to hear it, I may put some of it on here, but I don't think I'm gonna broadcast anything live. I am gonna be taking video that I'll show on here. During the show for July 4th. But on the 3rd in the morning from 6 to 9 a.m., I'm going to be live on the air. I won't be on much because it's the other guy's show. I'm going to support them. I'm going to be wearing my pattern shirt that I bought with the big flag on it. I'm going to be, I got my pins. I'm going to be taking pins for everybody. And it should be a lot of fun. I like a good party every now and then, and I'm not really a drinker, so this is going to be great. We're going to do a 3-hour live show, and then we're all going to hang out and have breakfast afterwards. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the morning of the 3rd. And then the afternoon of the 4th, I've got a 1-hour broadcast of flag raising on a new flagpole that we're doing in the Cape, I think, Cape Coral. And we're going to broadcast a 1-hour event on that. And I'm doing the board hopping for that. Nothing to worry about for you guys, but I'm just letting you know what we got going on. And then the night of the 4th of July, it's a Saturday, and I will be home from about 3 p.m. on. And I'm going to go live early, way early, probably 5 or 6 in the afternoon. I'll probably go live. There's going to be a lot going on. And so I'm just going to do wild multi-screen coverage. I'm going to try to have a screen in each town so we can see what's going on. No, I doubt it's a pride flag. Not in this town. I mean... We have gay folks here, but they're not crazy like they are everywhere else. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a great, grilling with family day too. If you're a little older, just get out the grill and have the family over and do that. So I don't really have a lot planned that day, other than I'm going to spend most of it here with you guys in the evening. Um, I've got a big flag I'm going to put up that day that I don't normally fly. That a very significant flag that means a lot to me. Um, yes, they are. They are Moorhead. Absolutely, they're crazy. Oh wow, D Beard. That's a part of that of the whole Galveston thing. I really haven't ever looked into is a ghost, the ghosts of Galveston or whatever. When I was doing my paranormal research group and my broadcasting with that, one of the teams we worked with was over in Texas, and they did some stuff over there. They were live one night from the beach there in Galveston. Um, Very cool. All right, guys, last call for the chat room. We're coming up on midnight, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. I do appreciate everybody coming in. We had pirates here, too. They were a dime a dozen back then. Let's see here. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm serious. Oh boy. All right. All right, guys. And in honor of our country's 250th birthday, don't forget to pick up some of the Trump and all, the new Trump and all for Trump derangement syndrome. This week we're selling it in a special packaging for the 250th birthday of our country. So there you go. They're still got the same crazy woman on the front. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, there you go. That's Trump and all. Make sure you get some of that. And if I can get back to it here, this thing is a little slow for some reason. Actually, I've got like 3 different versions of this. I'll show you a different version of it. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Also, don't forget, guys, the new product that we have out this week, the new Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll. That's right, it's the Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll, and from the makers of Trump and all, which is the leading treatment for Trump derangement syndrome. You can't forget that. And this crazy bobblehead doll can sit right on your desk at work and let all the liberals know right up front that you're not going to put up with their bullshit. That's right. Oh, did I get a promotion? I never made Commodore. I got to make Commodore first. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, get your crazy bitch today. Put her on your desk and ward off the evil liberals. So catch some of that. You can buy that anywhere where Trump and all is sold. Yeah, I got tonight. I'm going to sing you guys out with a song that I wrote tonight. I wrote earlier today called "The Star Spangled Story," and I think it's probably one of the better ones that I've written. It's about Francis Scott Key writing the song that we know today as the national anthem, and he wrote it. He wrote it in the Bay right there next to Baltimore, right off the coast from Fort McHenry. And if you guys don't know the story, please go watch a video on it. Go to Fort McHenry, for God's sake. Probably the most underrated federal thing to see that there ever was. I didn't even, when Carlotta took me to Fort McHenry the first time, I didn't even know about it. I felt like an idiot. I'm like, oh my God, this is so important. Yeah, D-Beard, I don't know. I put it out a long time ago, and I've been putting it out everywhere, and I've been sharing it everywhere, and it just doesn't seem to be getting legs. I kept thinking it would get legs. It might even be my key to getting my silver plaque. But no, it doesn't seem to get any traction at all, actually. Because you guys have to understand, I fight an uphill battle here with Walmart, with YouTube. YouTube, I'm a conservative voice, and they stifle us as much as they possibly can. I don't get hardly any new impressions on my show every night. The people that come in know my show's on. That's why they're here. I don't get that many new viewers. Now, if it's a big hurricane or something, I can beat the algorithms a little bit. But on a regular night like tonight, it's the same people every night. I can't seem to get outside of my bubble. And the reason that is because I'm being shadow banned, basically, by YouTube. They're just slowing down the number of contacts that I'm making, slowing down the number of subscriptions I get. And my subscriptions have been steadily falling now for 3 months. I've lost 400 subscribers in 3 months. And even though I gain a few every night, I lose a few every day. And it's a vicious cycle that I'm in with YouTube right now, because I'm literally stuck in the mud. I'm stuck in the mud, the tires are spinning, and I'm not going anywhere. But everything I read and everything I watch says the same thing. Keep going. Don't get discouraged. Don't let them beat you. You will eventually still get above the algorithm regardless of what they're doing. And so I took that to heart, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep on going every day. I enjoy doing it. You enjoy me doing it. So I'm just going to keep doing it. If we get big, we get big. I travel. We do great things. We don't get big. I just keep doing this until I die and they put me in a hole. I don't really care. I would prefer to be successful. I'd prefer to be able to buy the van and go around the world, around the country. I'm not going around the world. I don't, no interest. But around the country, you know, if I can get the money to do that and I do it, that's fine. That was the plan. That's been the plan for years. But that may not be the plan anymore. If I get stuck in this rut for too long, I may just end up stuck in this rut the rest of my life. I do make a little bit of money on here. It's enough to keep the studio going, pay the bills for the studio. But that's about it. I don't make money on YouTube. I'm covering expenses with YouTube right now. Yeah, I know, Moorhead. It's actually, if you're a leftist and you're crazy leftist, you'll if you look at these idiots that have shows on the left and they've got 500,000 subscribers and they've been doing it less time than me. They have no talent. They have no screen. They have no computer that they're doing it on like I am. They got a phone in their bedroom and they're sitting there talking about stuff. And I'm like, well, it's because YouTube likes the left. YouTube is left. And I hear about Rumble. One person tells me it's great, you can make a lot of money. The next person tells me it's a scam and I wouldn't go anywhere near it. So I don't know about Rumble. I've had too many mixed reviews for me to even try it. I don't know. I guess if I had somebody working directly with me that's already on there and could help me with it, but I think I have a winner here. I don't mean to sound conceited, all right? You know, my hair's not combed and it's an old shirt, but other than that, it's a good show, right? I mean, I can't believe that. I can't believe that I can't seem to get any traction. No one puts in the effort I put in. Somebody asked me the other day, why do you have so many technical problems? I have technical problems because look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. No one's compositing 10 different videos into the same screen. No one's doing dynamic tickers and dynamic clocks and doing it all in 4K. I mean, this is a crazy computer I had to build just to do this. If I could do Kick at the same time, which I can, I could pay a nominal fee and it would allow me to send it to 2 or 3 different streams. It does take a little more of my system resources, but I think I could be okay with that. Yeah, I don't know. Climax TV. That sounds like they would specialize in something else, but okay. Sounds like fun. Well, let's talk about this. I mean, if I can simulcast, but I'm not leaving YouTube. I've got too much here. I've been here 6 years on YouTube. Yeah, I can broadcast, I can simulcast is what they call it, where I'm actually broadcasting on 3 different platforms at one time. And I can do that. And I do believe I could even pay another nominal fee and have it all brought into one chat room for me, I think. But see, then we're getting into 2 chat rooms and 3 chat rooms and moderators on 3 different chat rooms. And I don't know. At what point is it too much? But then again, we want to get out there. I've signed up for all social medias, and I'm putting out posts every week. I'm putting 5 to 10 posts a week out on social media now. All right, guys, it is midnight on the East Coast, 9 o'clock on the left coast. This is StarShip Adventures, broadcasting our show tonight, The Sights and Sounds of Earth. And we are on every night, 7 nights a week, unless something happens. We are here broadcasting the sights and sounds of Earth. It's basically a science-heavy news show where we talk about all kinds of neat stuff, including space and paranormal and all kinds of things. We talk a lot about energy. We talk a lot about different types and genres of news, and so hopefully it fits. There is also genres of news I don't touch, like sports and things like that. So I hope it's something that fits what you're looking for. Try typing White Pride Month. It let me do it. That's weird. It let me do it. And I don't have any automatic moderating turned on at all. Every bit of it's completely turned off. My moderators moderate. I don't let the machine do it. Yep. Yeah, I'll cover just about anything. I don't care. If it's something worth covering, I'll cover it. I typed White Pride Month and it shows that it posted. You're telling me you can't see that? No, I don't have any updates on the ISS. The ISS is getting old. As a matter of fact, they've already got a date for deorbit. Yeah, in a few years, they'll be sending it home. Okay, okay, the current leak says the leak has been ongoing since 2019, caused by microscopic cracks in the module structure. On June 1st through the 5th, the leak rate doubled from about 1 pound of air per day to 2 pounds of air per day. There's also some new leak locations that they're looking into where there may be additional leaks. The shelter order lasted roughly 2 hours before being lifted. Roscosmos paused the more aggressive structural repair, which involved cutting a bracket to gather more data and perform additional inspections. There's no immediate danger to the crew or the station. The ISS still has plenty of air margin. Losing 2 pounds per day is currently manageable. They have applied sealant in the past and is continuing to monitor and repair efforts. NASA and Roscosmos are working together on long-term solutions, including possibility of isolating the affected tunnel. They could also send up a replacement tunnel. The place is completely modular. However, they're going to be deorbiting it soon. So it's the Zvezda module is one of the oldest parts of the Russian segment of the space station. See, it's there you go. You got American shit, you got Russian shit. Only one of them's leaking. Cracks have been known issue for several years, but the recent increased rate has triggered more concern. The situation is being actively managed. The crew is safe and back to normal operations. The leak is a chronic issue on the aging Russian hardware rather than an emergency. Would you like me to check for any newer? No. Okay, so basically, what I've always wondered is when you got a seeping crack like that, why don't they have some kind of gel that you can insert on the inside, and then as it's going through, it would seal the hole up? I mean, we've got stuff like that. I don't know why they wouldn't think of some, because obviously it's pressurized inside. So if you could get that liquid, just that gel, just close to that area, it would suck it right into that hole. But it is a seep. We're talking seeping here. We're not talking about venting air that you could see outside. We're just talking a seep. But like I said, they're going to deorbit this thing in 5 years or so anyway. So it's not going to be up there forever. Isn't that right, little kitty? You don't know anything about that, do you? You know anything at all about that? Put some putty on it. Well, the Russians need to fix it. It's their broken shit. All right, guys, I guess I'm going to kill it for tonight. It's 12:08 Eastern. I don't remember that, Josh. Yeah, JB Weld will work. You mix it together, right? And then you just put it right in there. I don't see why that wouldn't work. Boy, you think that shit's messy with gravity. You should try it without gravity. I don't know, Deploribus. Like I said, I don't have any automatic moderation turned on. I know that you need to make sure your chat room is in live chat and not in top chat. Other than that, I don't know. Like I said, all the moderation's turned off on my videos by default. I've never turned it on for any of them. We moderate our videos live, and that's how we do it. So, what are you doing, little one? I'm falling in love with another cat. What am I doing? What am I doing? We're driving around with 4 cats in my van. No, I don't remember what it was. I thought they announced it, though. No, I know that, Josh. I know. They moderate, trust me. They also do stuff like they'll show you that it posted, but it didn't actually go to anybody else. Stuff like that. Yeah. Truthfully, if you could get bubble gum in the hole, it would stop the leak. Because it would be too thick to be sucked through. It's a seep. So, I mean, literally, you could stop it with a piece of duct tape, probably. But the problem is, you can't get to it. It's behind interior panels and things like that. And if you're doing it from the outside, you can't use any of these kind of methods from the outside. They don't work. That's crazy. I can't believe how much censorship goes on here, and we don't even realize it. Yeah, I don't pay to promote content. I don't even pay for YouTube Premium. I'm a little pissed about that. I'm like, I'm a fully monetized channel. I think at least, now, maybe not for me, but when I get my 100,000 subscribers, I should get a free YouTube, don't you think? The truth is, I could have 1 billion subscribers. I could have my Red Ruby or whatever they call it. And the truth is I would still have to pay that $20 a month or whatever to get YouTube Premium. Oh, that's interesting, Moorhead. I'm working on right now making an AI that will do news searches the way I want to do news searches. So I'm working on that right now. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. Been on 3 hours and 10 minutes. 3 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, you believe that, Tone? 3 hours and 10 minutes? Yeah, well, because even if they're not fake, it's some weird deal where they just did it to get whatever it was they were trying to get, but it has nothing to do with them being interested in your channel for any reason. All right, Dispatch, well, you have you a good night. I went through the tooth thing last week. I'm so happy not to be dealing with pain in my mouth right now. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I'm going to play the new promo and then the closer. I'm also going to play the song. So hang out for a little while. It's not over yet. We've got a few things going on. We'll see you guys in just a little while. My name's Ian. This has been our version of the Sights and Sounds of Earth tonight on StarShip Adventures. Please make sure you're with us all this week. We're going to be covering all kinds of stuff with the 250th anniversary of our country. And then on the 4th, we're going to have long-form extended coverage from in the afternoon through the night. And we're going to be covering all the different events, the stuff going on in D.C., all the fireworks displays, all the different concerts that are going on. There's going to be a lot going on, and it's going to be fun. So make sure you're here. If you don't have family doing anything, or you're not doing anything on the 4th, Or if you guys do it during the day, we're going to be on also in the evening. So come check us out. It'll give you somewhere to hang out for July 4th with patriots, because that's what we are on here, a bunch of patriots. All right. I want you guys to check this song out. I really like it. And I'll catch you guys next time. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform, even though they're shadow banning me a little bit, I think. Have a good night, everybody, and a safe tomorrow. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for another episode. 7 3s, everybody. 7 3s.
It was 1814. The British came ashore. They burned our capital city. Then they sailed for Baltimore. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer with a flag inside his heart. He sailed out to the British ship to plead for a prisoner's release in the dark. They kept him aboard through the night as the cannons roared loud. The rocket's red glare lit the sky over Fort McHenry's proud. All through that long and fearful night, he watched with aching eyes, wondering if our flag still stood beneath those bursting bombs in the sky. Dawn's early light, through the perilous fight, that star-spangled banner still waved in the morning light. Oh, say, can you see what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Our banner prevailed. 250 later, we still sing that song of the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we belong. When morning broke on September 14th, that flag was still there, 31 feet by 42, tattered but proud in the air. He pulled an old letter from his pocket and wrote on the back the words that would echo through history from that faithful attack. By the dawn's early light, through the perilous fight, that star-spangled banner still waved in the morning light. Does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? 250 years of freedom, we still stand tall for the nation that answered when liberty called. To every battlefield since, that song became our anthem, through triumph and through pain. It carried us through world wars, through struggles and through tears, a reminder of the price that was paid for all these years.
This is the YouTube channel StarShip Adventures, broadcasting live from StarShip Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. StarShip Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on StarShip Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is StarShip Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra, signing off. QSY, 7 3s, everyone, 7 3s.